Taking a peek at the astrology, this December looks like a really creative and passionate month for you, Virgo. I really feel like there could be more excitement, more creativity, and maybe even some romance. However, I also get the potential that there could be some miscommunications or misunderstandings, particularly towards the middle of the month. This could be coming up in your close relationships or even with your family. But overall, I feel like this is a beautiful month for you to really reconnect with what matters and get back in touch with your own heart. If you're excited for this month's reading, then definitely be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you can always stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. I want to wish you all a very happy and blessed holiday season. I know that this time of year can be challenging for some people, so I'm really sending lots of warm wishes to you and your loved ones and anyone you know who needs it. I'm actually running a sale on my website, so you can get 20% off all of my services using the code GOODTIDINGS. This is good through the end of December, and I really think that this is just a great time to get a reading or Reiki session done. That way you can start off the new year on the right foot. By popular request, I actually do have gift cards available in my store as well, so it's never been easier to gift a reading or Reiki session to a loved one. I know lots of people have asked me about that in the past, so I'm really excited to unveil those as well. And I just want to thank all of you who have supported me and this channel, and I can't believe that we've made it through another year. It really is just such a gift to be able to do this work for all of you, and from the bottom of my heart, I am so grateful for you and wish you a beautiful holiday season. While I was connecting with your energy, Virgo, I really felt like a lot of you are very aware this month. This feels like a bit of a key word for you. And when I actually pulled a couple of animal cards, I did get the gazelle and the swan. Now, the gazelle is very aware of its surroundings, and the swan here is depicted as looking into its own reflection. So I feel like a lot of you are very self-aware, and I could even see how this could be bordering on to self-consciousness, or maybe even, being paralyzed by some sort of awareness. And I think this makes a lot of sense because when I'm looking at the astrology for December, I feel like there's a lot of rethinking family values or your early childhood or the way that you were raised or conditioned, particularly towards the middle of the month. This is when we have Mercury going retrograde into Capricorn, and on the 23rd, it's actually going to be going back into the sign of Sagittarius, and you, Virgo, are ruled by Mercury. So wherever Mercury is in the sky, whatever it's doing is especially important for you. And for you, this really rules over, or it's really going through Sagittarius, which rules over your early childhood, your home, your family. So these are things that are really coming up for you. And what I'm really thinking is, like, on the external, there could be a lot of confusion or misunderstanding between you and other people, right? But I think on a deeper level, it's causing you to look at how you have been taught to respond to certain things in relationships or in specific interactions. And I almost feel like with this swan, there's kind of this question at a certain point this month where it's like, wait, is this me or is this the other person? Who am I picking up on? Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? I feel like there is some level of mirroring or even a level of projection that's making things a bit confusing for you. And this is making perfect sense because we do have Neptune in the sign of Pisces, your 7th house of relationships, of other people, especially close, intimate relationships or partners. But I really feel like Neptune is causing a lot of confusion because we do have some tough aspects happening this month there. And I think particularly with Mercury going retrograde back into Sagittarius, you could be rethinking relationships or reassessing relationships. There might be some confusion there or some stuff that's going down. But I really feel like it's important not to get too swept up into anything, if I'm being honest, because I really feel like the gazelle is about looking for the things that make you feel better, that make you feel positively. Because the gazelle is so aware, it's so graceful, it's so beautiful, but again, it's always looking out for predators. It's always looking out for threats. And while it is good to be aware of what's going on around you, I do feel like, Virgo, some of you are almost getting paralyzed by this. I'm really curious to see what the tarot has to say. I know we spent a lot of time just on that already, but I felt like it was really important. There's something about you just overthinking yourself or over analyzing your own intentions or behavior, and that could be really holding you back this month, Virgo. We do have the High Priestess as well coming up in the past. Maybe you've been reconnecting with your spirituality or intuition more. I do feel like some of you are still kind of learning to trust your intuition. You might be picking up on vibes, and that could be why you are feeling so hypervigilant, so aware of what is going on. You are yourself are just in a more sensitive energy. So that's very interesting. I feel like some of you are just so much more aware than usual. You're picking up on energy, you're picking up on things. We actually do have the Wheel of Fate or Wheel of Fortune here as well. Very interesting. I feel like a lot of you know that there is a big change that is coming. And maybe you've known it's coming for a while. It feels like a new cycle, a new chapter for you. That is what this High Priestess is intuiting or sensing. Some of you could also be picking up on the intentions of a Sagittarius individual. I could potentially see that with the Wheel of Fate as well. But I feel like you know something big is coming. And maybe you don't even know what it is. Maybe that's why you're kind of like in this hypervigilant state. Something is on your radar. Something is definitely on your radar. What is this Wheel of Fortune for Virgo? What does this represent? Interesting. So we do have the Death card with the Four of Pentacles. Now this is interesting because this really could be representing some sort of change to your finances. If you've been kind of holding back or struggling, maybe this is signifying an end. It might also signify this sense that you know your stability is about to be shaken a little bit. Some of you might be aware of that or fearful of that. But honestly, whenever we see the Death card, I think our first reaction is to kind of clench up. It's to kind of get defensive or to guard against it. But the truth is that death can actually be a really beautiful energy because it can signify that something is finally changing. Something has finally come to a head. Something is finally over. Something that you might have been holding on to for a while, actually, with the Four of Pentacles. I'm really kind of getting a ding with that. I feel like some of you know that in order to move forward, you need to let go attachments from the past that are no longer serving you, that are no longer in the energy that you want to be in. And maybe some of you are overthinking it with this swan because it's like, well, is it really this other person or this other situation? Maybe this is just me. I really do feel like, Virgo, there is something that you are needing to let go of. And I think you already know with the High Priestess, to be honest with you. Even if you doubt yourself, beneath the surface, I feel like you kind of just know, you kind of just feel something is not in resonance with you anymore. And it's time for a new beginning. It's time for a new chapter. What specifically is this talking about for Virgo? Show us clearly, please. Why is the Four of Coins and the Death card here? Why is the Four of Coins and the Death card here? Wow. We have the Nine of Wands and the Four of Swords in reverse coming out together. I feel like a lot of you are just becoming aware of what is not sustainable for you anymore. I feel like this almost feels like a lifestyle thing. This could be a job. Maybe it's connected to relationships as well. But overall, what this really feels like is that you've been pushing yourself too hard for too long. You've been trying to make something happen that needs to just be put to rest. And I feel like there's this thing with not forcing things this month. You're kind of realizing that, Virgo. You can't be forcing relationships. You can't be forcing situations that are just taking from you and draining from you. Yeah, it's like you have nothing left to give. You have nothing to give to yourself with the Six of Coins in reverse. And I don't think that this is even just one area of your life, to be honest. I feel like this is showing up in multiple areas of your life. You're putting so much out for other people, into situations, and you're not really getting an equal exchange. Things are kind of out of balance with the Six of Coins in reverse. And I feel like with the Gazelle and the Swan together, this is really a good month for you to introspect, kind of focus on yourself, give yourself some time and some space to recharge. We do have a new moon in in Sagittarius on the 12th, right at the middle of this month, the day before Mercury goes retrograde. And I think this is what's really causing you to go within. And I mean, most of us, or at least those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, we are in the winter months. This is a very reflective and internal time. And I feel like you're kind of tending to yourself. Because there is going to be a big move that you're going to be making towards the end of this month with the new moon, with the Knight in the Knight of Swords. I swear every time I connect to Mercury retrograde, I have a hard time expressing myself, which is actually something that could really be happening. I really do feel like you're going to be needing to be very direct at the end of this month. And that might be really challenging for you, Virgo. It might feel like you're stumbling over your own words, especially if you are depleted or exhausted here, because I really feel like a lot of you have been pushing yourself for too long. I'm actually hearing don't strain yourself, like you might actually physically injure yourself or get yourself sick. That is also energy I'm getting for you. Ooh, Knight of Swords with Two of Swords in reverse. I really feel like a lot of you are going to be the ones initiating conversations that no one wants to have. And I think that this could really be coming up with family in particular, maybe in relationships as well, especially if you live with a partner. But I really feel like there's just something about you getting to the point, saying something, saying what needs to be said. Because things aren't... I feel like you've really tried to make things work. You've tried to be quiet about something, Virgo, and now you finally have to speak up. King of Cups, and doing this very maturely. I'm not feeling like this is a blow-up energy at all. I don't feel like this is... enraged. There could be a lot of emotions for sure, but when I see the King of Cups, I really feel like someone who has a lot of composure, someone who's really able to sit and process their emotions. And I actually feel like this is energy for you, Virgo. I really feel like you are, you're being very mature, very composed, very wise is actually the word I want to use here. I feel like you have a lot of wisdom, and you need to share that wisdom more. You need to speak more in a very direct way. Some of you could also be having conversations with friends, particularly with the full moon in Cancer at the end of this month, really the end of this year, on the 26th. I feel like it's almost like a snowball effect when it's like you start speaking your truth. You start doing it more, and it becomes easier and easier. And then it gets to a point where it's actually harder to not speak your truth. And I feel like that's something that's happening for you this month, Virgo. I feel like you're closing out things from this year, things that haven't been working. or at least addressing them. Whatever it is that you've been holding back has been making you hold on to something. And that's actually what I'm really getting with Death and the Four of Pentacles. And I just kind of felt this buzz in my body when I said this. So I feel like the real message here isn't necessarily about things ending. They might. You might be ending some relationships. You might be ending some friendships or cutting contact with some people. But I actually don't feel like that's most of you. How I'm really feeling about this is like, you tried to let something slide, you haven't wanted to say something, but by holding on to something, by holding back, you are actually not able to let it go. You need to express something here in order to release it. And maybe it's happening with a person who's been going through a lot, and you've been afraid to have a conversation, and it's felt like there's never been the right time to have certain conversations. I really feel like now is the time to speak from your heart, Virgo. And especially if you come from a family that didn't deal with conflict in a healthy way, or that was just very avoidant, I feel like that's something that you are reconditioning in yourself. You're learning to be more direct. You're learning to speak up. What else is going on for Virgo? I'm actually curious what is happening financially for you. We do have the Knight of Coins, so I feel like some of you are working very hard. There could be some money that's coming in. You're definitely working for it, but I feel like there's a nice steady flow. The Knight of Coins or Knight of Pentacles is actually your card, Virgo, so I feel like this is very aligned, and I feel like you're just very productive through a lot of this month. We do actually have Venus entering into Scorpio this month as well, which for you really could be signifying some sort of gain or just talking or thinking about money more. We've had Venus in Libra, actually, and that's really where you've been gaining some money or gaining some stability. And I feel like even in December, there is an increase in stability. Especially if you've been working on something since November or working hard, I feel like you are going to taste the fruits of your labor. There might be some delays with the Six of Coins in reverse. Anything else? What's going on in love for Virgo? Any messages for love and relationships for Virgo? Judgment. Yeah, some of you are having some really big conversations, maybe even some make or break conversations. And I mean, I think some of you are fearing for the worst, and I really get the sense there's been something that's been avoided. And it feels like whatever needs to be spoken to is being spoken to this month. Three of Cups. This could also be about connecting with groups of people, friends. The King of Coins. I really wonder if there's something about collaboration or coming together and working on something together. But it's like something that's really meaningful, something that's really personal. This doesn't actually necessarily feel like going into business together. Maybe it could be for some of you. It feels more like there's something around tradition or ritual, which kind of makes sense given the season that we're in. I feel like there is something about observing tradition. And I feel like this is different than kind of what you usually do. There's like an element of going deeper. And just as I say that, the Hierophant comes out. So there is something about tradition here. I wonder if there's some sort of ritual or something that you're doing with people who are close to you. I even wonder if this is like... honestly, I could almost see this as like working with friends, talking to friends about like proposal or something. Like, you know how when someone's going to propose to someone, there's kind of like... someone will check in with that person's friends. Like, I could almost see that actually here. But I get that energy. I get that sense of like some sort of collaboration or corroboration that is going on. And it feels like there's some sort of advancement that is very traditional. or there is something about redefining traditions. You might be choosing to do traditions with different people this year. You might be changing the traditions that you observe, and for some reason that's very important to your relationships. Um, Anything else? Yeah, there's definitely a lot of love and connection here with the Ace of Cups. I feel like you are there really could be like a next step in a relationship. Um, that could be a proposal, that could be moving in, that could be defining a relationship, whatever it is that next level represents. I really do feel like that is a possibility here. Although it's interesting to see the Three of Cups here as well. I know some people kind of read this sometimes as like a third party situation or like an affair. I'm really not getting that, especially since it's upright. But why is the Three of Cups here? Mm. I feel like you might be talking with friends, trying to get out of your head. Um, Maybe talking to a third party. That could be you or another person. I really feel like there's this need to talk things out to a more neutral party first, especially if you are having big conversations with someone. And I mean, I know this might sound like a bit of a 180, but I really feel like the conversations that you're having, Virgo, are actually bringing you closer together. Even if they are hard, even if you're afraid of them, and even if it doesn't go well, even if it doesn't go your way, there's really no point in holding back because ultimately you're just hanging on to something that isn't right for you anyway. So I really do feel like it is important for you to voice things and to also make sure that you are understanding things correctly as well. You might be in your own head, and sometimes when you're panicked or anxious or just really emotional, you don't hear all the information. So that's something I could kind of see here as well. And so there could be other people who are kind of helping you filter these things out. Um, Anything else? I think if there is some sort of progression happening in a relationship, um, it really could be about like moving in with someone or like a relationship where you're already living together, particularly when Venus enters into Sagittarius on the 30th, like right around New Year's. Um, and that's actually the same day that Jupiter goes direct in Taurus as well. So there is a lot of beneficial energy coming in that day, and really kind of this exciting energy coming into the new year. We actually do have Mercury going direct on the 1st of January, New Year's Day. And that's really kind of helping you move forward. It feels like you're kind of sorting through all the kinks. You're tying up loose ends, you're taking care of the knots. You're getting your ducks in a row. I really feel like that's what you are doing this month, Virgo, and it feels like it's bringing you closer together with other people, and I feel like financially you're kind of getting things in order as well. I do feel like this is a month to not get super spendy. I know in this time of year there could be a lot of shopping. I think it's just important to be mindful of what you're spending at the very least. We did see the Four of Pentacles here as well, which sometimes indicates needing to conserve or budget. But I think overall there is something that is steadily increasing here. Just don't count on money that you don't have. That's what I will say for you, Virgo. And I don't think you are the type to usually do that anyway. But any final messages for Virgo? Any other messages? I think I'm going to end with an oracle card for you. What are the messages for Virgo? Yeah, Balsamic Moon, a time for healing. There's definitely a lot of healing. And I think really looking at the Ace of Cups from earlier too, I feel like the conversations that you're having are ultimately healing. And it's about letting things go from the past, committing to new ways of relating with people. What else do we have for Virgo? Wow, we do have the full moon in Cancer. A personal issue reaches resolution. Yeah, I really feel like you're talking things through. This is definitely a month where I feel like a lot of emotional things are going on, and that might feel overwhelming, especially since December tends to be a really busy month for a lot of people. But I think it's really important that you take the time to process, that you take the time to have the conversations that you need to have, because I really do feel like there's a lot of resolution. There's a lot that is finally being said. that is helping you let go and go into a new chapter. And it's freeing up your own energy as well, Virgo. Because if it feels like you've been stuck in your life, if it feels like things haven't been going as quickly as you expected them to, or there's a lot of delays, or there's just kind of a struggle, I feel like what you really need to do is let go by expressing yourself, by expressing your emotions, giving yourself the chance to heal as opposed to just repressing and burying it all deep down until hopefully one day you forget about it. That's not what's going to work for you anymore, because that's taking a toll on you. And I feel like there's something about healthy expression, healthy catharsis, that is really helping you move forward in ways that are honestly hard to even fathom right now, because your energy is increasing, your soul is coming back into your body more, and you are becoming more sensitive, right? That was the first card we pulled with the High Priestess. And when you become a more sensitive, more spiritually aligned person, you can't tolerate incongruency in your life the way you once may have been able to. You know what is in alignment for you, and you need to live in that more. And that's what I'm really getting. And when you do that, the energy in all of the areas of your life really do increase. Anyways, Virgo, I hope that this was helpful. I do feel those were all the messages for you this month. Definitely be sure to hit like and subscribe, especially if you've made it all the way through to the end here. You can hit the bell notification as well, so you're always up to date with what's going on in the cards for you. I do have links in the description of this video for personal readings and Reiki sessions. Again, I'm running a sale through the end of December using the code GOODTIDINGS. You can get 20% off any of my services, so it's a great time to book with me. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Virgo. Have a happy and blessed December, and very happy holidays to you.